All right, what's going on, everybody? Chris here, Better Investing. Happy Monday. This will be a really quick video. It's nothing really to talk about, right? Only got one day in the market. Markets open tomorrow, but it's only a half a day. Then we're closed Wednesday. Really, if you want to take the rest of the month off, it makes a lot of sense to me. I kind of sniffed this out earlier in the day. Right, we got an inside day on, high and tight inside day on SPY. Nothing really to do here. I mean, if you try to play this action, you can definitely get chopped up. Right, we just go to a smaller time frame. Just look at the 5 minute here. I mean, what exactly did you was expecting to do on this? Right, 10 and the 20, bring this up. Right, we caught a trend towards the middle of the session. For the most part, I mean, if you were able to kind of see like this reversal from yesterday's highs, then congrats, right? Yeah, I mean, right, that's a trend reversal, however you want to look at it. Right through there, pretty much. If you was able to capture that move through there, and yeah, you got to move higher. But I think for me, I kind of sniffed out it perhaps being an inside day, and I really didn't want to sit here and trying to struggle, fighting the chart all day with relatively low volume. So I mean, for the most part, we still got a lot of work to do on SPY in terms of getting it back above these moving averages. Again, we're below the 10 and the 20. We can see both of them are crossing over, so we could just be trading sideways, right, letting these catch up, flagging the tone before next leg down. For us to really get back going again, I think we need a lot of more work to be done. Same thing with QQQ. Right, for us on QQQ, high and tight inside day, finishing in that wick candle from Friday, still below the 20, holding the 10. But perhaps I think this still needs some work to be repaired when you're looking at it from a daily perspective. And we can just look around the board. We had inside days across all the indices. So I know for certain that there is a lot of tough action if you were trying to take some stuff, right? Inside day here on IWM. We go look at DIA, which is the industrials, Dow Jones Industrial. Inside day here. We go look at Dow Jones Transportation, which is DJT, not the Donald Trump stock. Another inside day. So sitting right here at the 200. So was there much to do today? I honestly don't think so. And I think if you were trying to really force some trades today, going into a holiday break, you probably found yourself right really getting stopped out or having some frustration with some of these trades. I think because it just wasn't there. Like here's Tesla action today. Nothing really giving you any trends, right? Nothing really just saying what there was no real opportunities here. Really a chop type of day. And I think if you were someone who was able to see this, it was a good day not to trade or take it relatively lightly. So I think the main chart that really sticks out to me is it was the semis today. They had relative strength compared to the market. So let's go look at SMH real fast. So SMH is the semiconductor, the Van Eck ETF. This one has done this pattern 7 times where it's kind of cuts this 200 day and then it rallies higher. We can see it's done it right here. This is back in August. It did it back here back in September, and it did it here in November, right, beginning of December, and then it did it again, right, where it's just playing around almost up into these this 200-day moving average. I would say that the issue here is that while though it did hold the 200 each of these times, right, it's never or hasn't had a chance to take out these highs back here that it established back in early July. So although it's held these 200s, I think eventually the more taps you get into that 200, eventually the buyers are just not going to be present there, and that's when you probably see a bigger move down. But right now, I don't really see much to do here, although there was some strength here on the semis. So we can really just go over here and look at NVIDIA. If you watched my video from last week that I talked about NVIDIA, although I mentioned that perhaps, this could be a bear flag, or, let's see what happens up at the 50. That's exactly where we're sitting at, right? Close right at the 50-day moving average. And, I talked about, some of the best ways to play a fake, the best way to play a head and shoulders is to play the failed breakdown, right? So there's your head and shoulders. We can see here, right, we have this fake breakdown, right, and then it just moves up, right, and it squeezes out. And again, I think that's important to realize in looking at price action. If we also just go here and we look at the weekly, I call this out as well. Well, all we did was we just pulled back into the EMA or the SMA 20 on the weekly, and then we gapped up this week and we broke the highs. We gapped up today on Monday. We broke the highs from last week, and we had continuation up here into the EMA 10 on the weekly. So there's still a lot of work. I think you have to wait and see what happens on Nvidia. Perhaps if you want to say that this is a breakout, a flag breakout, perhaps. All right, let's do this real fast. Let's just kind of hide some of these moving averages. I'll just keep the 50, the 200, the 10, and the 20 from the daily. Is this a flag? Not a real constructive flag, but perhaps that's what we're kind of seeing here, right? Where we have a trend up, we have a pullback, we have multiple touches, and right now we're starting to break out. But one of the things that I mentioned is that I want to take flags when it's above the 10 and the 20, and we are now above the 10 and the 20. But something I also mentioned is like we turn onto this, and it's not the cleanest, right? But perhaps what we're seeing is a flag back into the 50-day moving average, right? You can kind of see it here, right? Maybe that's what we're starting to see, rather than let's kind of just do this real fast. Let's take off these lines and let's just look at it from a perspective of like, okay, is this a move downward, right? Is this a bear flag underneath the 50-day moving average? So the way we can kind of think of it is perhaps we are flagging, right? Say if we are flagging, or we're flagging right here into the 50, and this would be a big area for us to watch into the week. And these aren't clean lines that I'm drawing here, but you can kind of build out what I'm talking about here. Like we can just say, let's do this real fast. Let's say like we can take from here, right? We can kind of build, say this is a almost like a flag or somewhat of a wedge, right? We're just all right. You can clearly see that right there, right? And the thing is, it had its chance to reject here today in the morning, the 65-minute close red, but we never broke below those lows. It can kind of confirm another lower high, continuing this downtrend. So we didn't break that, but there's a lot of area again for it to make another lower high and really getting it back like above 146. It's kind of really it's breaking this trend to the upside. But we'll have to see what happens if we get back above here and it starts to roll over again. You just back out and you say to yourself, okay, we got a high, we got a lower high, and we got another lower high. I wouldn't say, what they say is undercut the 50. Perhaps we overshoot the 50 and then we start to roll down, right? But again, it could mark out another lower high from these previous earning highs right here. Because I remember this day I traded the 150s and got lucky because they literally melted like literally seconds after I sold it. So perhaps that's what we can look for in terms of like if there is going to roll up. Perhaps we do overshoot the 50, but we still put in a lower high below this 146 level going across, and then it'll still give that look of a bear flag. And if we come back through the 50, then you can put on your short with a stop with above that high, or using a 65-minute candle as your stop, right? And looking for a leg back down into these 126 or perhaps down into 130, because we know that spot's been defended before, as we can see here, and we got consolidation up in here, and we can see it untapped here as well. So that's kind of like what I see on Nvidia for right now. That's what I'm tracking. I do have one trade on right now. And that's Rivian. I got the Rivian 14 and a half calls expiring January 17th. And I'll kind of walk through that real fast on what I was saying. So here's Rivian, and we'll start with the weekly chart. The first thing that I really liked about this Rivian chart was that we had this falling wedge type of pattern on an overbeaten down stock, and I'm wondering if it could get a leg up. Right, you can see the multiple touches along the upper trend line, as well as the downward trend line, now the upsloping trend line. And I'm not a big RSI guy or anything, but we do have that divergence here, as we're not making well, let me say this is the low, so there's no really divergence here in terms of price, right? Again, I'm not really a big RSI guy, so I'll leave that for the RSI people. But yeah, that's my thought process there. I wonder if this has legs, and I want to see what can happen here. So what I don't like as of today was that we did push above this candle here, and that's exactly where I got my alert set, and I took the contracts right here. My stop is pretty. It's pretty, like, I want to say I'm using like a 50% stop, because I only bought 2 contracts, and if I lose both of those contracts, it's not even gonna be it was not even a toenail rip in my account. So I wanted to give those 2 contracts a little bit more room to work. But I do want to see us hold this 20-day moving average, and perhaps we can get a bigger move upwards. But what I'm really just playing was this pullback to the 20. We did trigger right over 14.17. I want to see my alert was at 14.15, and that's why I took it at. Those contracts are probably down like 20% or so. But I do have time on them, and I do have enough, whereas though I can let the contracts work out. I mean, they're out until January, so I have a couple weeks to let these kind of work to see if we can get a bigger move. What really drew me to this was this 65-minute flag from Friday. That's what I was looking at. So I want to say it was this candle here at 417 that I was watching. We can kind of break out of here, and we did break out of there. And I want to say I put these on around 11 o'clock, and it literally just melted down. I'll probably most likely get out if we get back below the I would say the 20-day moving average, so around like 1350 will probably be my area to really take these off. I mean, either way, again, I bought these right here. I'd say I probably got in right around 1420 or so. All right, I'm risking 50 cents on these contracts. I'm probably risking about a 1 delta on these contracts, if that. 1 delta, and again, if I can get a move up to these previous swings, it's still it's a solid risk to reward, right? I'm risking 60 cents to capture $1.30. I just need this move to work a little faster. If you don't want see these contracts melt all the way down to here, because then that move back up all the way up to here, the risk to reward is just not going to be worth it, because you don't lost so much value in data and stuff. But yeah, I want to see if this is going to hold. If we do start to if this wasn't a continuation, off of what I was looking at. Let me see. I do not have. Yeah, that's not it. So let me do this real fast. That's looking at the. This is the 65-minute. Let's. That's not correct. There it is, right here. So here's the 65-minute. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna cut these like right around here. So I got like another 20 cents or so on space. I really want to see that higher low hold right here. And if we don't, then I'll just take it off. Even though we still have the 20 here. And perhaps if we hold the 20, I can look to get back in, and try and give it another shot. But that's pretty much all I see. I'm really pretty pissed about this one. I did call this out. I talked about this in my Discord chat that I'm in. Man, I really wish I would have got in on this one, because this was a pretty clean move. Robotics, right? A lot of the drone stocks, all that stuff has been ripping. What really caught my attention with this robotics one this RR was when we look at the weekly, we're breaking this this all-time high downward trend line, and I thought that was pretty noticeable to see us break that, and then we also broke it, with relatively high volume. Like a lot of volume has came in on this break. So I really did like that. And one thing I like to do is like look at a chart and ask myself, where would potential traders want to get in at, and where would be the next opportunity for traders to take a stab at. So if I just do this real fast, and take off some of these particular things, right? So we already see what the initial leg up, right, from 52 cents, right, all the way up to about $1, right? It made a 100% move, right, and then it pulls back, retested that downward trend line, kind of retested the SMA 20 as well, and then we gap up. Well, where's your next opportunity now? I'm a little concerned because I don't know why my 200-day cuts off right here on TradingView. And like when I was looking at it, what I did was I pulled up like my date range. We could just go right here, right? My date range. I pulled up this date range, and when I pulled this across, that's not 200 days. So I was a little concerned about why it's showing me the 200 right here, and it's cutting off when there's definitely data available all the way back here. I don't know why it's not showing correctly. But either way, it just looked like a pullback right into the 10-day moving average. And right, we were building out. And what I liked about it, again, was when I looked at it on the 65-minute. And again, this 200-day is pissing me off because that did play a part in the reason why I liked it as well. It was because, it looked like we were just, flagging out, right? We're flagging, putting in a nice little flag here that we can see. And, if you are a flag trader, one of the things you can do to get an idea of, how much of a run up this can have is, well, one thing you can do is just measure, the width of that particular, flag pattern and, measure it from the breakout. And it damn near hit it to the T, right? About 10 cents off or so from the implied move. So now I gotta wait and see and let this set back up. And I'm not too sure if I even want to hit it again, because I'll be trying to hit the third setup on this move. I think the first and second setup's fine. Trying to hit the third setup, you're probably getting a little bit, long in the tooth, and perhaps you can see more of more spikes to the downside and stop you out. But I think today, if you were going to take that type of trade, I really like just looking at like perhaps the 15-minute was idea. Right, let the first 15 minutes build out as we break over those highs. Right, you take some. I wouldn't even take options. I'll just buy shares. Right, you buy some shares at say $1.51. Your stop is below the today's lows. Right, risking about 15 cents. And again, if you look measured up to that implied move, that's a 3-to-1 risk and reward, right? You're risking 15 cents, right? That means every 100 shares you got, you're losing $15. So 15, 30, 45, 60. You got 400 shares with a 15-cent stop. You're looking at what, a $60 loss, and with 44 cents to gain off of 400 shares, that's pretty good, right? It's $176 off of 400 shares you would have captured on this move. Even if you were to start scaling out, if you were at 2-to-1 or so, 30 cents or so, still not bad. You're probably swinging the rest of these with a break-even stop up to here, back up to like 151, just letting the rest ride. So, not really pleased that I didn't hit this, and even gave a secondary entry here at the VWAP today. Clear trend, right? You can see the trend on the 10 and the 20, respecting it the whole way up. Barely closed below. One close that it got below the 10 on the 15-minute, got bought right back up. Right? It was just a beautiful trend. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I got to go. Now I do like to kind of just, you can see these, man. You can see these flag patterns all over the charts, man. You can capitalize on those. Those are good opportunities. You can see this holding VWAP, and then it's ripping higher. So, but this is all, man. Peace, Chris. God bless.